Hello, my friend. Have you ever wondered what really happens to your prostate when you masturbate daily after the age of 60? If you are watching this video, this question has probably crossed your mind, or perhaps you are concerned about some symptoms you have been experiencing lately. Perhaps you have noticed changes in your body, your energy, or even your overall well-being, and are wondering if your intimate habits could be related to this. You are not alone. Thousands of men our age face these same questions in silence, not knowing who to turn to or where to find reliable information. It's a subject that many consider taboo, something that is not discussed openly, even with close friends or health professionals. But today, I'm going to share with you some truths that can completely change your perspective on this topic and, more importantly, can help significantly improve your quality of life. What I'm going to reveal here are not just theories, but information based on scientific studies and the experience of thousands of men who have gone through what you are going through now. And the truth can be quite surprising, contradicting much of what you may have heard or believed throughout your life. So, if you want to find out how your intimate habits may be affecting your prostate health, your vitality, and even your relationship, keep watching until the end. I promise that by the end of this video, you will have a much clearer understanding of this very important subject and, better yet, you will know exactly what to do to protect your health and regain your full vitality, regardless of your age or current condition. Let's dive into this fundamental topic for men's health in maturity. Before we get into the subject itself, it is important to understand what the prostate is and what its function is in our body. The prostate is a gland about the size of a walnut, located just below the bladder and surrounding the urethra, the canal that carries urine and semen out of the body. Its main function is to produce part of the seminal fluid that nourishes and protects sperm. When we are young, we rarely think about it, but as we age, especially after the age of 50, this small gland begins to demand more attention. This is because, naturally, the prostate tends to increase in size with age, a condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia. Studies show that about 50% of men between the ages of 51 and 60 have some degree of prostate enlargement, and that number rises to an impressive 90% after age 80. It is a natural part of male aging, but it can be positively or negatively influenced by several factors, including our intimate habits. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today: how regular masturbation can influence the health of your prostate at this stage of life. There is a lot of controversy on this topic, with differing opinions even among health professionals. On the one hand, there are those who argue that frequent masturbation can be harmful to older men, claiming that it could cause inflammation, prostate congestion, or even contribute to problems such as erectile dysfunction. On the other hand, there are scientific studies suggesting that regular ejaculation, whether through sexual intercourse or masturbation, may actually benefit prostate health. So, what is the truth? What really happens to your prostate when you masturbate daily after age 60? The answer is not simple, which is precisely why many men remain confused and concerned. But don't worry, we're going to unravel this mystery together, based on what the latest science has to tell us. One of the most comprehensive studies on this topic followed tens of thousands of men for several decades. The results were revealing. Those who reported a higher frequency of ejaculation throughout their lives, about 21 times or more per month, had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated less frequently. This finding is particularly relevant for us mature men, as the risk of prostate cancer increases considerably after age 60. Researchers propose several theories to explain this protective effect. One suggests that regular ejaculation helps eliminate potentially carcinogenic substances that can accumulate in the prostate over time. Another theory points out that the ejaculation process may help reduce inflammation in this gland, a factor that is associated with the development of various prostate problems. But does that mean that the more frequent the masturbation, the better for your prostate? Not necessarily. The relationship between ejaculation frequency and prostate health seems to follow what scientists call a U-shaped curve. This means that both very low and excessively high frequencies may not be ideal. Balance seems to be the key here, as in so many other aspects of our health. For men over 60, studies suggest that a moderate frequency of ejaculation, somewhere between 2 to 4 times a week, may provide prostate health benefits without causing other potential problems associated with very high frequency, such as reduced sensitivity or fatigue. But let's be honest, masturbation, especially for men of our generation, carries significant emotional and cultural weight. Many of us grew up hearing that it was wrong, sinful, or even harmful to our health. These deeply ingrained beliefs can create feelings of guilt or shame that are themselves detrimental to our overall well-being. It is important to recognize that these negative feelings can create a cycle of stress that negatively affects not only our mental health but also our physical health, including prostate function. Chronic stress raises levels of hormones such as cortisol, which can contribute to inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. Therefore, if you masturbate regularly, it is essential to do so without the burden of guilt or unfounded fear that you are harming your health. Are you enjoying this information? Do you feel like you are finally understanding better how to take care of your intimate health at this stage of your life? If so, I would like to ask you a special favor. Leave the phrase, "This information has changed my perspective on men's health," in the comments. This not only helps me understand that the content is useful to you, but also allows other men who are facing the same questions and concerns to find this video. Many of us face these challenges in silence, unaware that there are answers and solutions. By sharing your experience, even anonymously, you are reaching out to other men who may be feeling alone on this journey. Now, let's continue with more valuable information for your health. An important aspect to consider is that as we age, our bodies undergo various hormonal changes. Testosterone levels, the main male sex hormone, tend to decline gradually from the age of 30, with a more pronounced drop after the age of 60. This natural reduction in testosterone, sometimes called andropause or male menopause, can affect not only sexual desire, but also erectile function, energy, muscle mass, and even mood. Some men wonder if frequent masturbation could accelerate or aggravate this hormonal decline. Research, however, shows that there is no consistent evidence that regular masturbation reduces testosterone levels in the long term. In fact, some studies suggest a temporary increase in testosterone levels after ejaculation, although this effect is short-lived. What can really negatively impact your hormone levels are factors such as poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, chronic stress, and sleep deprivation. These are habits that deserve your attention and efforts to change if you want to maintain healthy hormone levels during middle age. Masturbation, when practiced in moderation and without feelings of guilt, is unlikely to have a significant negative impact on your hormonal balance. Another common myth is that frequent masturbation could cause or aggravate problems such as benign prostatic hyperplasia, a condition in which the prostate enlarges and can cause uncomfortable urinary symptoms. However, available research does not support this idea. Prostate growth appears to be much more related to natural aging and the hormonal changes that accompany it than to masturbation habits. In fact, some studies suggest that regular ejaculation may help relieve prostate congestion, potentially reducing some symptoms related to prostate enlargement, such as the feeling of incomplete bladder emptying. Of course, every body is unique, and some men may notice that certain symptoms temporarily worsen after masturbation. For example, if you already have significant prostate inflammation or prostatitis, the contraction of muscles during orgasm could, in theory, exacerbate discomfort in some cases. If you consistently notice that your symptoms worsen after masturbation, it is important to discuss this with a healthcare professional, as it may be a sign of an underlying condition that needs medical attention. A potential benefit of masturbation that is rarely discussed, especially for older men, is its effect on erectile function. As we age, it is common to experience some changes in sexual response, including less firm erections or erections that take longer to occur. Regular masturbation can help maintain the health of penile tissues through a process similar to use it or lose it. Erections promote blood flow to the penis, which helps maintain tissue health and elasticity. This regular blood flow is essential to prevent fibrosis of the corpora cavernosa, the spongy structures in the penis that fill with blood during erection. Fibrosis can lead to erectile dysfunction and, in some cases, a reduction in penis size over time, something that many men experience as they age. Research suggests that men who maintain regular sexual activity, whether with partners or through masturbation, tend to better preserve erectile function as they age. It's like exercising a muscle. Regular practice helps keep it healthy and functioning properly. However, it is important to note that other factors such as regular exercise, healthy eating, stress management, and abstinence from tobacco are equally or even more important for maintaining sexual health throughout life. Now, let's address a topic that may be particularly relevant to many mature men: the relationship between masturbation and penile sensitivity. Some men report a decrease in sensitivity over the years, which can affect sexual pleasure and the ability to achieve orgasm. There is concern that frequent masturbation, especially if performed with excessive pressure or very vigorous techniques, could contribute to this desensitization. Is there any truth to this? Yes, in certain cases. What experts call death grip syndrome refers to a condition in which men become accustomed to very intense stimulation during masturbation, often involving greater pressure or friction than experienced during sex with a partner. Over time, this can cause the penis to become less responsive to gentler stimulation. For older men, who may already be experiencing some natural reduction in sensitivity due to age-related changes, this can become a significant problem. The good news is that this condition is usually reversible. If you suspect you may be experiencing this problem, consider adjusting your masturbation techniques. Use less pressure, try water-based lubricants to reduce friction, and perhaps temporarily reduce the frequency to allow your body to reset its sensitivity. Many men report significant improvements after a few weeks of adjusting their habits. It is also important to consider the psychological aspect of masturbation, especially in adulthood. For some men, masturbation can become a way of coping with stress, loneliness, or even depression. When it becomes compulsive behavior or an escape from emotional problems, it can cease to be healthy, regardless of its frequency. The problem is not necessarily the act itself, but the role it plays in your emotional life. If you find that you are using masturbation primarily as an escape mechanism or feel that you have lost control over this behavior, it may be helpful to talk to a mental health professional who understands the complexities of sexuality immaturity. On the other hand, for many mature men, especially those who do not have a regular sexual partner, masturbation can be a healthy and important expression of sexuality. It can provide not only physical pleasure, but also mental health benefits, including stress relief and mood improvement through the release of endorphins and other neurotransmitters associated with pleasure and well-being. In addition, staying sexually active, even through masturbation, can help preserve a positive self-image and a sense of vitality that is often challenged by the aging process. Another important aspect to consider is that masturbation, when practiced mindfully and without rushing, can be an opportunity to reconnect with your own body. As we age, our bodies change, and so does our sexual response. Masturbation can be a safe and private way to explore these changes, learn how your body responds now, and adapt to a new phase of your sex life. This self-exploration can be valuable not only for solitary pleasure, but also for improving sexual experiences with partners, as you will be more aware of what works for you at this stage of life. If you've made it this far, it means you really care about your health and well-being. That's already a big step. And since we're talking about such important topics for men's health, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Here, you'll find valuable information on various aspects of mature men's health, always based on scientific evidence and presented in a clear and respectful manner. By subscribing, you will have regular access to content that can help you live this stage of life with more health, vitality, and well-being. Don't put it off. Click the subscribe button right now and activate the bell to be notified whenever we publish a new video. Your health deserves this special attention. Now, let's talk about some practical recommendations for maintaining prostate health, regardless of your masturbation habits. A healthy diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and good fats, can have a significant impact on prostate health. Foods such as tomatoes, rich in lycopene, and those with omega-3, such as cold water fish and flax seeds, have been associated with benefits for the prostate. On the other hand, excessive consumption of red meat, whole dairy products, and processed foods can increase the risk of prostate problems. Regular exercise also plays a crucial role. Studies show that physically active men have a lower risk of developing benign prostatic hyperplasia and its symptoms. In addition, physical activity helps control weight, which is important because obesity is associated with an increased risk of prostate problems, including cancer. You don't have to become an elite athlete. Even regular 30-minute walks can make a big difference. Staying well hydrated is another important recommendation. Water helps dilute urine and facilitates its flow, which can relieve some urinary symptoms associated with prostate problems. Try to drink at least 8 glasses of water a day, but spread your consumption throughout the day and reduce your fluid intake before bedtime to minimize the need to get up during the night to urinate. Stress management also deserves special attention. Chronic stress can contribute to inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate, and can also negatively affect the immune system. Relaxation techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or even enjoyable hobbies can help manage stress. Some studies suggest that regular practice of pelvic floor strengthening exercises, known as Kegel exercises, can help improve some urinary symptoms associated with prostate problems. These exercises involve contracting the same muscles you use to stop the flow of urine. By contracting them for a few seconds and then relaxing several times a day, you can strengthen these muscles and potentially improve urinary control. Avoiding excessive alcohol and caffeine consumption can also be beneficial, as both can irritate the bladder and worsen urinary symptoms. If you enjoy coffee or tea, consider reducing your consumption, especially in the evening. The same goes for alcoholic beverages, which, in addition to potentially irritating the bladder, can negatively affect sexual function when consumed in excess. One crucial recommendation, which I cannot emphasize enough, is to have regular checkups with a healthcare professional, especially after age 50. Tests such as PSA, prostate-specific antigen, and digital rectal exams, while they may cause some discomfort or embarrassment, are critical for the early detection of prostate problems, including cancer. Early detection can literally save lives, significantly increasing the chances of successful treatment. Don't let momentary discomfort or embarrassment prevent you from taking proper care of your health. Returning to the main topic of this video, let's summarize what science tells us about masturbation and prostate health after age 60. Current evidence suggests that regular ejaculation, whether through sexual intercourse or masturbation, likely has a protective effect against prostate cancer and may help relieve prostate congestion. However, as with so many aspects of health, balance seems to be the key. A moderate frequency, somewhere around 2 to 4 times a week, seems to offer benefits without significant risks for most men. It is important to note that if you have specific conditions such as acute prostatitis or are recovering from certain urological procedures, there may be specific recommendations for your case. Always consult a healthcare professional before making significant changes to your habits, especially if you have concerns or pre-existing health conditions. One aspect that is often overlooked in discussions about masturbation and men's health is the impact that consuming pornographic content can have. With easy access to the internet, many men, including older men, consume pornography as part of their masturbation routine. While occasional and moderate use is unlikely to be harmful for most people, excessive consumption can lead to problems such as unrealistic expectations about sexual performance, desensitization to normal stimulation, and, in some cases, difficulty becoming aroused without this type of stimulation. For older men, who may already be experiencing natural changes in sexual response, this effect can be particularly problematic. If you find that you need increasingly explicit or unusual content to become aroused, or if you are having difficulty maintaining interest or an erection during actual sexual intercourse, it may be helpful to reduce your consumption of pornography and reconnect with more natural physical sensations during masturbation. Some mature men report benefits from practicing what is sometimes called mindful masturbation, a slower, more deliberate, sensation-focused approach without rushing to orgasm. This practice can help increase sensitivity, improve ejaculatory control, and provide a more satisfying experience. In addition, it can help break habitual patterns that may have become less pleasurable or even counterproductive over time. A related topic worth mentioning is the use of sex toys or accessories. Although traditionally associated with women or couples, there are several products designed specifically for male pleasure that can be particularly useful for mature men experiencing changes in sensitivity or erectile function. Prostate massagers, for example, can provide a type of stimulation that many men find intensely pleasurable and that can promote prostate health by increasing blood flow to the region. Penis rings can help maintain an erection for longer, and vibrators can provide more intense stimulation for those with reduced sensitivity. If you have never considered these options, know that they are increasingly accepted as legitimate tools for sexual health and well-being, especially as we age and our bodies need different types of stimulation. Many online stores offer discreet shopping and delivery, removing the potential embarrassment of purchasing these items. Another important aspect to consider is that, for men in relationships, masturbation does not have to be an exclusively solitary activity or something kept secret from one's partner. Many mature couples find that incorporating masturbation into their shared sex life can bring a new dimension of intimacy and pleasure. Whether through mutual masturbation or simply sharing openly about their individual habits and preferences, this communication can strengthen the emotional bond and improve sexual satisfaction for both partners. Honest communication about desires, needs, and age-related changes can be particularly valuable for older couples, who often face new challenges to intimacy, such as health conditions, side effects of medications, or simply the natural changes that come with aging. Remember that your partner is likely experiencing their own changes as well and may share many of the same concerns as you. For men without partners, masturbation can be an important way to maintain a connection with their own sexuality and preserve sexual function. Far from being something to be ashamed of, it is a natural and healthy expression of human sexuality at any age. Some older men report that after the loss of a long-term partner or a divorce, rediscovering their sexuality through masturbation was an important step in the process of emotional healing and rebuilding self-esteem. Regardless of your relationship status, age, or health status, you deserve to experience pleasure and maintain a connection with your sexuality in whatever way works best for you. Masturbation can be part of that, without guilt or shame, especially when practiced mindfully and as part of a holistic approach to health and well-being. As we approach the end of this video, I would like to emphasize that male sexuality and maturity is a complex and deeply individual topic. What works for one person may not work for another, and what is healthy for you depends on many factors, including your overall health, your personal values, your life situation, and your wellness goals. If you are concerned about any aspect of your sexual or prostate health, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Many men avoid discussing these issues out of embarrassment, but healthcare professionals are accustomed to dealing with these matters and can offer personalized guidance based on your specific situation. Remember, taking care of your sexual health is part of taking care of your overall health and well-being as a whole person. I hope this video has helped to clarify some questions about this important and often misunderstood topic. The truth about masturbation and prostate health after age 60 is not as shocking as many might think. In fact, science suggests that this habit, when practiced in moderation and as part of an overall healthy lifestyle, is likely to bring more benefits than risks for most men. If you found this content useful, don't forget to like it, share it with anyone who might benefit from this information, and subscribe to the channel for more videos on men's health in maturity. Your comments and suggestions for future topics are always welcome and help us create content that truly meets your needs and interests. Remember, no matter your age, you deserve to live with health, vitality, and well-being in all aspects of your life. Maturity can and should be a phase of self-knowledge, personal growth, and fulfillment, including with regard to your sexual health. Until the next video, take care of yourself and live your best life, in all its dimensions. Before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with a final message of encouragement. Many men of our generation grew up in a time when topics such as sexuality, intimate health, and male emotions were rarely discussed openly. We were taught to keep quiet, not to show vulnerability, and not to seek help even when necessary. This mindset, although well-intentioned by our parents and society at the time, we now know can be harmful to both our physical and mental health. We are living in an era of greater longevity and have the opportunity to enjoy decades of active and fulfilling life after the age of 60. To make the most of this phase, we need to abandon old taboos and embrace a more open and proactive approach to our health, including sexual and prostate health. There is no shame in seeking information, asking questions, or seeking help when necessary. In fact, this attitude demonstrates wisdom and self-care, qualities that become even more important as we age. You are not alone in the doubts, concerns, or challenges you face. Millions of men around the world are going through similar experiences, and we are increasingly building communities of support and knowledge sharing, such as this channel. By participating in these conversations, not only do you benefit, but you also help other men who may be facing similar situations in silence. Remember that aging is not a process of inevitable decline, but a journey of transformation that can include new discoveries, pleasures, and meanings. Your sexuality, including practices such as masturbation, is part of that journey and deserves to be treated with respect, curiosity, and care. Don't let prejudice, misinformation, or shame prevent you from living fully and taking care of all aspects of your health. I sincerely thank you for taking the time to watch this.